Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Brad from the National Pool coming at you with 5 crate digging hacks, and at the end, we also have a really lazy way to crate dig if you don't even want to leave your house. So, the first hack is to think visually. In this case, essentially, you will be judging the album by its cover, so forget everything that you heard. In this case, unless you're rich or you have a lot of time, time is money. So picture yourself in the record store. Unless you have one of those portable record players, which is great, you're probably not going to have enough time to listen to every single record that you're looking at, nor would you really want to. I think with crate digging, part of the fun is just not really even knowing what you're going to end up with when you get home. That kind of makes part of the discovery process a little bit interesting. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. When I say just judge the record by its cover, I truly mean that. I did a lot of crate digging from basically high school, during college, after college, and I went for the craziest stuff I could find. So here's one great example. The Kaiser Twins, 2 twins, one guy's got like a keytar thing, the other guy's holding 2 drumsticks. They're laughing about something, maybe because their shirts match, I don't know. But I didn't listen to it when I was in the store. In this case, this was at Phonolux in Nashville where I got this. I just saw it, laughed when I saw it, grabbed it, went on to the next one. You're probably going to be hitting maybe 3 or 4 different record stores or Goodwill or thrift stores. We'll get to that later. But in a day, so you don't really want to sit there and listen. Had I actually listened to this, I probably wouldn't have found any samples. I was just sort of like, oh, this is a cool cover, but I'm not going to buy it. But really, the list price here is $1. I don't think I even paid $1. But just grab it. It's cheap. And so just look for crazy album covers. Just for some additional insight here, this is not Death Grips. This is some rock group called Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but this is on an indie label, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll just run through a few more real quick. Some band called Blitz, awesome album cover, just get it. Night and Daydream. So, I'm looking at this thinking it's probably prog rock or some really soft acoustic music or something along those lines. So, basically you get the idea. I got more records here, but you pretty much get the idea at this point. But I will double back and talk about indie labels back then. Much like right now, a major label, they're going to want a single before they even put you in a studio, that kind of stuff. With indie labels, they'll let the artist pretty much do whatever they want. I think that was even, especially more so back in the day, 60s, 70s, 80s, where you're going to find a lot of vinyl. Here's one example. She's jumping with her nylon string guitar, and it's just, 12 tracks-ish of, like, solo acoustic, female vocals, solo acoustic, and you can find a lot of great stuff on there. Perhaps like a vocal melody you can take, or maybe if she's playing guitar, a nice little hook in the intro. That's really where you're going to be finding your gems. So don't look for any labels that you recognize. Back then it was probably you still got more or less the same labels these days as you did now. They just were under different names. But this is Olivia Records. Let's see here. This one is the Kaiser Twins. This was actually CBS Records, so it doesn't always hold true. Sometimes these guys maybe should have been on an indie label. The Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry, that was on a label called Situation 2. So that is kind of just another hack there. These guys are actually on RCA, so another major. So, it doesn't always hold true, but more often than not, check out indie labels. Because a lot of that stuff, too, your major label stuff, you're still going to be able to find it on Spotify or whatever now. The indie label stuff, it's not going to be anywhere online. You might get lucky and find someone that has put it up on YouTube, but then again, if you don't know the artist, you're not going to find it on YouTube, so because you will know what to search for. So that is hack number one. Think visually. Just judge it by its cover. Hack number two is where to actually buy vinyl records. There's been a resurgence of vinyl as of late, which is fantastic. But a lot of the stuff that you're going to find, especially if you're going to be buying vinyl, not really just for listening pleasure, but to sample it, just, and more often than not, most records you won't even really get anything from, in terms of being able to make a beat out of it. So a lot of the stuff just kind of sits there. So it's a bit of a gamble. So you don't necessarily want to go to your new record stores. Still definitely support them when you want to buy records that you want to listen to, but for crate digging, that's not always optimal. There is one caveat to that, though. Now I don't even know if these places are still around any longer, but two of the places that I used to go to all the time when I lived in Nashville were Great Escape, which is where I know you guys can't see that, but that's where I get this from, Great Escape, and Phonolox. Now both of these were listed as $1. On Sunday mornings, they would do either 2 for $1, possibly even 4 for $1. So in that case, you got to wake up early, go down there, and I used to do this every Sunday religiously. Go down there, hit both of those stores, and just come back with a trunk full of vinyl, carrying bag after bag after bag back into the apartment where I lived. The other place to shop for vinyl would be either Goodwill or thrift stores. And these are really kind of a crapshoot. A lot of times, you might just end up with 20 copies of Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, the what is it? Not the ice cream cover, but the lady with whipped cream. You'll see 20 copies of that. Nothing interesting. A lot of classical stuff. But by and large, that's probably going to be your best bet. I don't know what the prices are looking like these days. I've since gotten rid of some of my vinyl, and it's been years since I've actually gone out and hit the stores. But usually you're probably looking at 50 cents, maybe $1 per record. If you want to cheat the system, I'm not saying do this, nor am I saying that I ever did, but you could probably fit, 3 or 4 records into one album if you needed the space at a Goodwill or thrift store. Just saying. So that is hack number 2, Goodwill, thrift stores, and discounts at your regular record stores. And the third hack is what to actually buy. So we covered the think visually part of it. What to actually buy. What you're looking for here is volume and variety. When you get home, you're gonna have hopefully a stack of maybe 40-50 records to go through, and that's really what you want. Especially for hip hop, you're gonna want everything from Spanish solo acoustic guitar to prog rock to like an indie country record to early disco, everything. And you want a lot of it because, like I said before, by and large, you're not going to find anything that's worth actually sampling. And then from what you do find that's like, oh, this sounds cool, I'll record it real quick and see if I can make a beat out of it later. Usually the odds on that, again, like 25% of that maybe is actually worth making a beat out of. Granted, you can make a beat out of anything, but I'm talking about something that's really going to stand out, some fire shit. Some really good stuff, So when you go out to the stores, you're going to need a lot of it. Because you need a lot of it, you got to shop cheap. So let's cover hack number 4, when you listen. So here you are at home with your huge stack of vinyl, 50 records. Let's say they're an hour a piece. You don't have all day or all week to listen to all of that stuff. Nor should you really, unless you want to, nor should you really try to listen to the whole thing if you're going at this from a crate digging, beat making perspective. What I used to do is for every song, and you can usually tell by the second or third song what kind of album it is, if there's even anything worth flipping over to side B for. But check out the beginning of the song and the end of the song. And what you're looking for there, usually in the intro, maybe they'll let the guitar or, piano, organ, they'll let them do a cool intro, or just kind of see how the song starts. You can tell, is this going to be a pop song with no instrumental breaks, nothing interesting going on? You can tell by the production value, is this just a rock band that's just blazing through every single song with no experimentation? I think that's really what you want, is you want to find where the artists kind of break rank a little bit from the song structure and do something a little bit interesting that you can sample. So beginning and the end, and then hit the middle too. And this really depends on genre. So for funk music, you're always looking where's that drum break, or where's the vocalist saying something crazy. Funk records have a lot of cool stuff on them in terms of just more experimental instrumentation type stuff, which is fantastic. For prog rock, you're gonna want to see where's the organ solo, and some of those songs, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes long, it's going to take up a lot of space on the vinyl. So just kind of drop the needle intermittently and just kind of see where they're at in the song, what you can expect out of it. In terms of, is a solo coming up? Go ahead and listen to the solo. Slow it down. Speed it up. Because that's probably what you'll be doing when you actually make the beat too. So if there's like a hook or a little guitar riff, go back, listen to it a couple times. All this, just kind of picture yourself. Basically what you're doing is saving time for when you get to the actual beat making stage. Do your kind of pre-work, by slowing it down, speeding it up, seeing if there's even a 4/4 beat. Not that it has to be 4/4, but seeing if there's something already inherently there that's beat worthy or beat like. And one last point for vocalists, like that other record I pointed out with the nylon string guitar girl Meg Christian. These are really great for finding vocal hooks. The Deltron 3030 record really reminds me of that kind of aesthetic where the Lost in the Grip of the City. That was a fantastic vocal sample. It just made the whole song, and you're gonna find that kind of stuff typically with like female solo artists that aren't trying to go too pop. If you're looking at 80s pop, you might as well just throw it away. In terms of that stuff, if they're going like by the book, trying to get singles usually. So definitely stick to indie labels. And number 5, as promised, this is the lazy hack. This isn't even about going out and getting my hands are already a little bit dirty, and that's just part of the process. So the 5th lazy hack, which is actually kind of cool, is just crate digging on YouTube. And you're already here, you're watching this on YouTube. Finish this video first, click subscribe, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. But on YouTube, what you're going to need, you can either stream directly into your sampler, or what you can do is just get a Firefox YouTube to MP3 converter. And what you're going to want to type in, things like what I find to be the most interesting is stuff, I'm in the United States, stuff from other countries, particularly the Middle East and Asia. Just type in a country name, a decade, and vinyl. So, as an example, Japan vinyl 70s, and just see what comes up, and just browse and browse and browse, and eventually you'll find somebody that has a really cool channel, and that's their whole deal. Is what they love to do is put up 70s Japanese vinyl onto YouTube, and there you go. You don't have to leave your home. You don't have to fly to Japan and go crate digging. It's a whole new world, but with that said, I do certainly advocate for going out, just because it's like a time-honored tradition at this point, is just going out there, and you learn so much about music. I truly feel that hip-hop producers are definitely kind of not underrated isn't the word I'm looking for, but I don't know, maybe miscategorized. I think that hip hop producers, by and large, have a large appreciation for a vast amount of music of different genres that people might not even expect, and I think a lot of that comes from crate digging. Just by going out and listening to, let's just say if I hated funk music, I might accidentally pick up a funk record and listen to it and start enjoying it. You start to learn artist names. If you dig really deep, you find out, oh, the drums were cool on that. Let me look on the back, because usually the credits are all there. Who played drums on that? Next time in the store, see if you can find that name again. That's going to be a great purchase. That kind of stuff. But the lazy hack YouTube, it's not a bad thing to do. And even Decade, just in general, 70s genre vinyl, super easy. And the very last one, I just kind of added this to my notes. I don't even, I got really not much respect for this, but, whosampled.com. Go ahead and just copy what other people have sampled. I don't really advocate for that. I think, especially now, since people have been sampling for decades and decades and decades now, you've really got to dig deep to find something interesting that hasn't been done before. But if you're just learning and you want to practice, that's awesome. Go to Who Sampled, find out what beat Kanye or High Tech or Ninth Wonder, or name your producer here. Find out what they sampled, download it, YouTube MP3 Firefox extension, throw it in your, machine, Akai MPC, whatever you may be working with. I used to use Sony Acid all the time, and then I got the MPC, and then went back to Sony Acid, so, kind of a side thing. Doesn't really matter what you're working with. Try to recreate the beat and see if you can do it. So I guess that's going to do it for this. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope it was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and subscribe, give it a thumbs up. I got a lot of music on my channel, got some DJ sets recently, and I'll probably put some video game stuff up there, just a whole variety of stuff. But thank you all for watching, thank you for tuning in, have a nice day.